You know the feeling. You've just eaten. Not a snack, a real meal. And about 20 minutes later, something switches off. Your eyelids get heavy. The room gets slightly further away. Whatever you were about to do suddenly feels enormous. You're not sick. You're not bored. You're not even that tired if you check. You just want to stop. And if you're at work, you fight it. You get coffee. You stand up. You tell yourself you shouldn't have eaten so much, that this is a failure of discipline that a stronger person would push through. Here's what I want you to sit with for the next 10 minutes. That feeling is not a malfunction. Part of it is your body doing exactly what it's built to do. And part of it, the strangest part, isn't caused by the meal at all. It was going to happen anyway. Let's start with the explanation everyone knows, because it's half right. And the half that's wrong is interesting. You've heard that after a big meal, blood rushes to your stomach to handle digestion, leaving less for your brain. And that's why you feel foggy. It sounds obvious. It even sounds mechanical, which makes it satisfying. And blood flow to your digestive system genuinely does increase. That part is true. But your brain is not an afterthought in the queue for blood. It's the organ your body protects most aggressively. Blood flow to your brain is held remarkably steady through exercise, through standing up, through a heavy meal. Your body will do a lot of things before it lets your brain go short. So the popular explanation isn't the answer. Something else is making you sleepy, and it's more interesting than plumbing. Here's the shift that makes this make sense. Eating isn't only a mechanical event, it's a chemical announcement. The moment food arrives, your gut starts releasing signals into your bloodstream. Messages that travel to your brain and change how you feel. Not to punish you, to coordinate you. Your body has just received a large amount of resources. It now needs to do a set of jobs. And those jobs are easier if you sit still for a while. So it sends the message it has always sent. Slow down. Some of these signals are the same one that make you feel full, and fullness and drowsiness are far more closely related than we usually admit. Now, add a second thread. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises and your body releases insulin to handle it. Insulin has a side effect that has nothing to do with energy storage. It changes which building blocks get pulled out of your blood and into your muscles. Most of them leave. One in particular tends to stay behind, and it's the one your brain uses to make the chemicals associated with calm and eventually with sleep. So after a carbohydrate-heavy meal, the balance in your blood tips toward the ingredient that leads to drowsiness. Nobody designed this to ruin your afternoon. It's a side effect of a system built to store energy efficiently. And there's a third thread, which is the one that surprised researchers. Deep in your brain sits a small population of cells whose job is to keep you awake, not to make you sleepy, to hold wakefulness in place. They're the reason you stay alert across a long day without having to concentrate on being conscious. And research found something unexpected. These cells respond to how much sugar is circulating in your blood. When blood sugar rises, their activity tends to go down. Read that plainly. The system that holds you awake is partly regulated by whether you've just eaten. That's not a bug that slipped in. That's a design decision made by evolution across an enormous span of time. Which raises the obvious question. Why would a body be built to get sleepy at exactly the moment it has the most fuel available? Think about what a big meal meant for almost all of human history. It did not mean lunch. It meant you had just succeeded. The hunt worked. The harvest came in. The fishing was good. A large meal was rare, unpredictable, and usually the end of something difficult. And the correct thing to do immediately after acquiring a large amount of food is not to go looking for more food. It's to stop, digest, conserve, stay still and stay safe while your body converts a windfall into stored energy. Being driven to rest after eating is not laziness. It's the end of a task, signaled chemically by a body that has no other way of telling you the task is over. Your ancestors got sleepy after a big meal, and then, in most cases, they rested because nothing stopped them. Now, here's the part I promise you, and it genuinely changes the shape of this story. Researchers studying alertness across the day found a consistent pattern. There's a dip in the early afternoon. Attention drops. Reaction time slow. Errors go up. People feel it reliably at roughly the same window. And here's the crucial detail. It shows up in people who haven't eaten. Take away the lunch, keep everything else the same, and the dip is still there. Which means the afternoon crash is not simply a consequence of your meal. It is part of your internal daily rhythm. The same clock that decides when you get sleepy at night appears to schedule a smaller, quieter dip in the middle of the day. Your meal doesn't create that dip, it lands on top of it. A heavy lunch at 1 in the afternoon is a chemical signal to rest, arriving at the exact moment your internal clock was already lowering the lights. That's why it hits so hard. Two systems agreeing at the same time. Which brings us to the historical question. If humans have a built-in afternoon dip, and we've had it the entire time, what did people do about it before the modern working day existed? And the answer is exactly what you'd expect. They rested. Not everywhere, and not identically, but across a huge range of places and centuries, you find the same practice. The day was broken in the middle. Work stopped. People ate, and then they stopped being productive for a while. And this was completely unremarkable. It survived longest in hot climates, which is why we tend to explain it entirely by heat. Heat is genuinely part of it. Working through the hottest hours is miserable and dangerous. But heat alone doesn't explain why the pause lands where it lands, or why people in mild climates also structure the middle of the day differently than we do now. The afternoon pause wasn't invented to escape the sun. It fit the sun, and it also fit the body. And then it was removed. The thing that ended it is the same thing that ends every story on this channel. Not a discovery, a schedule. When work moved into factories, the day stopped being a set of tasks and became a block of hours. And a block of hours only works if everyone is inside it at the same time. A machine that stops in the middle of the day is a machine losing money. A worker who rests when their body asks is a worker out of step with the machine. So the day was made continuous, one long stretch, with the rest moved to the end, where it doesn't interrupt anything. And the afternoon dip, which had been a normal, accommodated part of being human, became a problem to be solved. Notice the reversal. The body didn't change. The schedule changed, and then the body was declared wrong. And once you can't rest, you need something else. This is where caffeine stops being a beverage and starts being infrastructure. Coffee and tea spread through the working world at roughly the same time that the working world became continuous. And that is not a coincidence. A drink that suppresses the sensation of tiredness is extraordinarily useful if the schedule no longer permits tiredness. We built an entire daily ritual around chemically overriding a signal our bodies send on purpose. And we build the ritual at precisely the hour the signal arrives. Think about how normal that is to you. The afternoon coffee is so ordinary that it doesn't look like anything. It's a workaround, A very good one for a problem we created ourselves by deciding the middle of the day belonged to someone else. So here's the turn. For a long time, the afternoon slump was treated as a fact of life, and the day was built around it. Now it's treated as a personal failing, and the person is expected to be built around the day. That shift is the whole story. When you feel that heaviness after lunch and you think, what's wrong with me? Notice what you're actually doing. You're comparing your body to a schedule that was designed for the convenience of machinery about 200 years ago by people who were not thinking about you at all. Your body is not failing the afternoon. The afternoon was rebuilt in a shape your body was never asked about. None of this means the feeling is meaningless or that a heavy meal has no effect. A very large meal, high in carbohydrates, will hit you harder, and that part is genuinely about what you ate. But the next time it happens, try noticing what's really going on. A gut sending a signal it has sent for millions of years. A hormone shifting the chemistry in your blood. A cluster of cells that hold you awake, quietly easing off. And underneath all of it, an internal clock that had already scheduled this moment before you sat down to eat. 4 systems, all agreeing, all working correctly, telling you the same thing your ancestors were told, in the same language, at the same hour of the day, and a calendar invitation at 2 o'clock telling you they're wrong.